I don't know a human on the planet right now that isn't cortisol saturated. Menopausal and postmenopausal women need to exercise differently because of collagen. 3 incredible reasons why I think we need to bring walking back as a fitness exercise. Okay, on this video, I want to talk about my new favorite exercise that I cannot believe that I love so much, and it's walking. So if you're like me, a recovering athlete that has pushed yourself so hard and you know how to override the pain signals in your brain when you're working out, I really want you to take a step back and relook at walking as the greatest fitness tool there is, because it can accomplish so much from a brain place. It can help your joints and it can balance your hormones. Let me explain why. So remember, right now in this world that we're living in, we are living in a cortisol saturated state. So every moment from the time we get up till when we go to check our phone, looking at our email, to the demands that we're given on a work day are bigger than ever. And so I don't know a human on the planet right now that isn't cortisol saturated. When your brain is in this constant state of cortisol, what's happening is that you're getting locked in your amygdala. This is your fight or flight brain. When stressors hit you over and over and over again, the brain starts to go, okay, where's the next stressor? Where's it gonna be? And all of a sudden you're like trying to find that next stressor. And you might even find you're like overreacting to small little things because the brain is trying to keep you safe. So walking can reorganize that part of the brain, and I'll explain why here in a moment. The second thing, and this is really applicable to my women over 40, as you move through your perimenopause and menopausal years, your estrogen is going down. And as estrogen goes down, so does collagen. And as collagen goes down, it doesn't just make your face wrinkled, but it also makes your joints more vulnerable to that extreme working out. So we have to find new ways to work out that don't involve damaging the joints, and walking is one of them. Third thing is that when cortisol is high, remember the hormonal hierarchy. I spoke of this in Fast Like a Girl. When cortisol is really high, you become more insulin resistant. When you're more insulin resistant, now you can't balance those sex hormones. So cortisol becomes really important to manage so that you can manage your insulin resistance or insulin sensitivity, and you can manage your sex hormones. So think about it in this way. If you're one of those women taking HRT or BHRT and you feel like it's not working, or you're taking a thyroid medication, you feel like it's not working, if cortisol stays really, really high, you're going to find that it becomes you're not going to feel the effects of those medications. So something as simple as walking can help your hormone replacement therapy effectiveness. Yeah, it can. Because once you understand the hormonal hierarchy, you understand why this is such a cool tool. That foundation in place here, let's talk about the first reason why I want you walking. And that is because it will calm the brain. So you have 2 parts of your brain that work in opposition of each other, the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. So the amygdala is fight or flight. I already spoke of that one. That's the one that's trying to keep you safe. When you are locked in your amygdala, you are not activating your prefrontal cortex. So your prefrontal cortex is your creative part of your brain. It's where you can see hope and possibility. So you're supposed to move in and out of these parts of your brain, but when you are locked because of the stress in here, you stop using the prefrontal cortex, and all of a sudden the prefrontal cortex actually can start to degenerate. So when we go for a walk, what we're doing to the brain is we're saying we're moving away from the stress. Remember, you are primal. So what you're telling your brain is, I get it, I'm stressed, so I'm going to move away from the stressor. And all of a sudden you start moving into the prefrontal cortex. Try it sometime. Like if you have a stressful event hit you, try like getting up from your desk and then just going for a walk. And 20 minutes later, tell me how you feel. I guarantee you'll feel better because you got your brain into that prefrontal cortex spot. So understand that that forward movement can do that. And this is why I call walking my forward movement exercise, because I had to kind of rethink about it. My extreme athlete brain had to reorganize walking and look at it in a bigger picture. So I call it forward movement. I just say, oh, I'm going to go on a forward movement workout right now, which is walking. So anyway, so that's how it calms the brain, and it can move you out of fight or flight. The second part I want to add is when you are walking, and this is where I think it does really do better than running, is that you scan the horizon, look out like from right to left. Again, that's a primal part of the brain that you are telling the brain, I'm looking for danger. I'm moving from danger and I'm looking for danger, and the brain will calm. So this is one of the things that I've noticed just on using the phone when we're scrolling up and down, especially before we go to bed. And that actual scrolling up and down locks us in our amygdala. Whereas eye movement, side to side, actually will start to calm the brain and move you into the prefrontal cortex. And all that can be accomplished through walking. So that's the first one, that's a biggie. Second one is that it's a lot easier on your joints. So my menopausal women out there, I really want you to hear this with love, is that when estrogen goes down, collagen's going down, and that constant pounding, that running, the HIIT training, the extreme exercise is going to wear those joints out. So at some point, we're going to have to shift the approach to exercise. So this is why I'm a fan of walking and adding that in as more recovery during your workouts. I think as women, we actually have to consider our sex hormones in the big picture of our workouts. I'm really trying to help the fitness industry understand that women need to exercise differently. Menopausal and postmenopausal women need to exercise differently because of collagen. And walking will help you get fit, it will calm the brain, and it won't destroy your joints. So I love it for that. Third thing is walking will help you lower your cortisol levels. So let's go back to the hormonal hierarchy. So remember, when we're trying to balance estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, we need to be insulin sensitive. And when we are insulin sensitive, in order to get insulin sensitive, we need to bring cortisol down. So I've already talked about when you move forward and you scan the horizon, we're bringing down the stress levels. But if you add that into maybe going out in nature, going for a hike, now there's a really incredible evidence showing that when we're in nature, it brings cortisol down. The smell of nature, the sound of nature, the visual of nature, just being in the environment of nature brings cortisol down.
You want to know the foods that will support hormones? Guess what? I have them for you already. It's a free giveaway. Just click the link below and I'll send you a list of all the foods that support amazing hormonal health.
I did an incredible podcast interview with Dr. Austin Perlmutter on this, on the Resetter podcast. You can go back and listen to it, where we dove into the science of nature and how therapeutic it is for bringing stress down. But if you go for a walk in nature, wow. Like, not only are you bringing cortisol down now, but you are reorganizing your brain. So if you're lucky enough to live near, a mountainous place or near a beach, go for a walk and really fully immerse yourself in that nature experience, and you'll bring cortisol down. So 3 incredible reasons why I think we need to bring walking back as a fitness exercise. I feel like in all the extreme we've done in the health world, we've sort of pushed away walking and dismissed it. And I want to bring it back and tell you it is your best health tool. And if you are under a lot of stress, if you have a big stressful moment hit you, go for a walk, get out, and it'll affect all 3 of these things. So I've even seen people who have moved from extreme Spartan racing, crossfitting, not that I'm opposed to those things, but that extreme endurance racing that they're doing where their body is just worn out. And all of a sudden, maybe they cut that activity in half and add in walking as recovery, and they're able to get more out of those workouts. They're getting better results because they're using walking as this recovery piece. So you can really integrate it well into your lifestyle, and your body will perform at a higher level. Remember that rest, especially for a female body, if you're a woman, rest is a superpower you can lean into to get more out of your body, more out of your life. It's that push, push, push that destroys us on all levels. Okay, you're not losing belly fat. I get it. Watch this video so you know exactly how to get rid of your belly fat. I really want you to remember that cortisol and belly fat, those go hand in hand. So as your belly is growing, it's not always diet related. It can also be stress related.